Hey guys, my name is Christine, what is up? So it's been a long time since I've done a YouTube video, and today I think I'm going to take you guys down to PGP Motorsports Park for a test session with my go-kart here. I took it down there once before and things went pretty well, so we'll go down there and see if we can have some fun today. So before we get going, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about my kart. This is a Rigetti Gold Kart. I got it off a guy on Facebook Marketplace about 3 months ago. I won't say how much I paid for it, but the guy down at the kart shop told me I did pretty well. I did have to get a new seat put on because seats are actually pretty specific to the size of the driver. It has to be big enough to fit in, but also snug so that you don't get tossed around. It has a Briggs & Stratton LO206 engine, which is a pretty popular engine package and seems to be a good one to kind of get started with. I actually did replace the clutch, which is this little drum hanging off the engine here, and for today I put in a 66 tooth gear. The track we're going to has a lot of twists and turns, and so I think running a higher gear will give you more of a boost off the corners. I've also flushed the brake fluid. That's kind of one of the first things I did. Since I took it out last time, I did clean the clutch. I also cleaned out the carburetor, checked the spark plug, and did a few other maintenance things. It's a cold day, so I'm going to try running 14 PSI on the tires. Generally, I think you want to run between 10 and 12 if it's a warmer day because the tire pressure will build as the tires heat up. But today we'll start with a higher PSI and we'll check that throughout the day and make adjustments as we need. I went with X14 as the number, X being from X Christine, and 14 was my favorite late model driver's number from when I was a kid, so 14 has always been kind of my lucky number, so hopefully that'll help us out today. Okay, well it's almost 9 o'clock, and so if we're going to get a full day out there, we got to get packed up and headed out, so I'll go ahead and take care of that, and I'll see you guys out on the track. Hey guys, so we're out here at PGP Motorsports Park. It's a pretty nice day. It's fairly cold out. I don't really see a lot of people here, so the track should be fairly empty, okay for us to use and get a lot of good use out of. So I'm getting my kart together. I have the engine unmounted here. I'm gonna take care of the clutch, make sure it's fastened on good and tight, and then we'll get the chain on. Finish unloading it, grease it up, check the tire pressure already. We're at 12 PSI, which is probably okay. So we'll finish getting it unloaded and we'll get out there soon. Alright, we're unloaded, so let's go ahead and get it up over there. There's some guys doing some rentals out there. So yeah, they said that I'll be able to go out after these guys are done. So we'll get it over there and get it fired up. Okay, we'll go ahead and crank it just to make sure it's going to fire. Usually takes a few tries first. Sorry about the jumpy video, I'm doing this with my camera. Oops. Hey there. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about what it's like to drive this thing. First off, you really can't overstate how slippery these tires are when they're cold. So as you drive, the tires heat up. That causes the material to get soft and the air pressure to build, which gives you more grip. Usually it takes about 2 laps for them to get to an optimal state, so the first lap or so of each session, I'll just baby it around trying to get the tires warmed up. Alright, so here's me thinking the tires are ready to go when they're actually not. Okay, so a couple laps later, the tires are good and warmed up. So that's a little better. Alright, so this first session, I really just kind of wanted to take it easy. So I hadn't taken the Kart out in about a month at this point, and I had done a lot of work to it, and I'm still learning, and I don't really have a lot of confidence in my mechanical skills or my driving, and so I just kind of mainly want to just cruise around and listen for like weird sounds or vibrations or whatever, you know, just kind of make sure things are in order before we go full ham. Also, I do have to apologize for the crappy video and audio coming from this knockoff GoPro that I'm using. I really do need to get a better camera to get some better shots. So driving this thing is actually pretty taxing physically. It's really tough on the wrists, and last time I came out, my ribs were visibly bruised for like 2 days afterwards, so a well-fitted seat and a good rib protector is pretty much an absolute must. So I think that went pretty well. You know, I didn't get all of the lapse time because I forgot to hit my stopwatch, but I know I got like a 77 flat, which I guess is okay. I wanted to show you guys, wait a minute. So I took a stopwatch and taped it to the steering wheel, so I manually have to, oh, and I forgot to hit stop. So yeah, that's how I'm tracking my lap times. It's not completely accurate, but next time I'll have a micron. So so like when you first go out, the tires are really loose until they get some heat in them. So that explains the spin out. That's my excuse anyway. So, but we'll get there. It still feels a little bit loose. I'm having trouble hitting the apex, so we'll have to take a look at that. It seems like it's really loose in the beginning and then it like tightens up in the end. So something exciting happened out there. But we'll, yeah, we'll go back out in a few minutes and we'll, yeah, we'll see how we do. So I didn't actually get every lap of every session recorded, so the camera ran out of battery during the session and then I forgot to hit record a couple of times. So most of this is just more of the same anyway, so I'll just kind of talk about how the rest of the day went. So I decided to run the track counterclockwise for a few sessions. This track holds events that run in both directions, and their rental kart practice sessions all run clockwise, and running counterclock is almost like running a totally different track. So I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to get practice going in that other direction while I basically had the track to myself. During one of my sessions, I started to hear a noise that sounded like something in the drivetrain was skipping, especially when getting up to speed. It seemed like either the clutch wasn't engaging correctly or the chain was skipping. The chain did seem a little loose, so I put it on the stand and slid the motor forward, which took up some of the slack in the chain. That seemed to fix the noise. You actually pull a lot of G's in these things, which causes the chassis to flex and things will just get out of whack. Fortunately, that was the only mechanical drama I had during the day, and I did add a little pressure to the tires after a couple sessions, and I think I might have a slow leak in one of the fronts, but we'll get a better look at how my tires are faring here in a bit. So between sessions, I asked the guys who work here what a solid time is for 206 on this track. They told me qualifying times will run from about a 69-second lap time to a 74, and so with that in mind, let's take a look at the fastest lap I managed to actually get recorded on my fake GoPro here. So I may have done a faster lap sometime during the day. It seemed like I was averaging lap times in the 75x range. Ultimately, my goal is to get my lap times down to a point where I could enter a race, keep up, and be somewhat competitive. I'm not there yet, but after only 2 sessions, I think I'm making good progress, so I'm pretty sure I'll get to where I need to be soon enough. So one common question people ask is how fast does it go? A 206 kart will get up to around 60 miles an hour or so, I think. So this track, I only hit the rev limiter for about 2 to 3 seconds from going down the main straight. And so outside of that portion of the track, the biggest contributing factor in terms of speed are how the kart handles and how well you can get off the corner. So as far as the engine displacement, the 206 engine is 206 cc's, but displacement doesn't really tell the full story in terms of speed. There are 125cc shifter karts that can get over 100 miles an hour. So generally lap times in a kart like this will be about 10% faster than they would be in the rental karts they have here. The two types of karts have different engines, different drivetrains, different setups, and all that. So obviously they drive differently, but one of the biggest differences is the mindset that you're driving your own equipment and you're 100% responsible for whatever happens to it. So I grew up watching stock cars race on oval short tracks back home in Virginia, and when I was a kid we would sometimes go to watch kart races at Amelia Motor Raceway in Central Virginia, which is a dirt oval. There aren't really any oval tracks near me, so learning to drive a multi-directional course has probably been my biggest challenge. Right now I feel like I need to work on attacking the corners so that I roll through the center more smoothly and hit the apex with a little more consistency as opposed to sliding around the middle of the turn the way that I do. It feels like the kart has a tendency to push on entry, which creates a challenge trying to get a bite on the corner without having to either slow down a lot or force the issue by kicking out the rear end and creating this drift. It feels like I have to either let off or brake really early in order to hit the corner the way I want. There might be an adjustment or two on the kart that might help, but the biggest problem is probably just my inexperience. There are a couple other popular tracks in Western Washington. There's one down in Spanaway and another up in Sumas near the Canadian border. I definitely want to hit those tracks up at some point, but for now, I feel pretty comfortable at PGP. The guys who work here have been really nice and pretty eager to help. They also helped me get some of these cool trackside shots that you're seeing. Okay, so we are quite literally out of gas now. We did about 6 or 7 sessions, so we're going to pack it up and head out. I did pretty well. I think I got a 74.8, which is okay, I guess, for my second time out with this kart. I did wind up putting a little bit more air in the tire a little while ago. That definitely helped with the grip. I had an issue where the chain was making this grinding sound, and I brought it in and kind of tightened up the chain a little bit, and that sort of went away. So hopefully that's better. So we're gonna head on back to the house now, and we'll see you soon. Okay guys, so we're back. It's actually a couple days later. I got home pretty late the other day, and then I had a pretty busy weekend, so I'm just now getting a chance to get out here and take a look at things and see what kind of damage we did. Things actually look pretty good. The biggest thing that I noticed is that the front tires need to be replaced. So you can tell right here, actually the cord is kind of showing through, so these will definitely need to be replaced. I have a couple of these on order, and so they should get here soon, and I'll go ahead and replace those. The back ones I'm going to leave alone for now. They will probably need to be replaced soon. So you can see they put this little punch in the tire, which will tell you when you need to replace them, but they'll probably be okay for another run. I've been spending a lot of money, plus it's Christmas, so I just wanted to go ahead and get the front tires replaced for now. We'll have to do a little bit of maintenance. So for one, the clutch, which is this drum right here, will need to be taken off, taken apart, and scrubbed down with brake cleaner. Another thing is the carburetor, which is right here, will need to be taken apart and cleaned out. The spark plug will need to be checked, and I also need to check the oil to see if that will need to be changed. Other than that, we'll just need to kind of wipe it down good, check all of the nuts and bolts and make sure everything is in proper working order, and then we'll be ready to take it back out for another session. So we'll probably do that maybe in about a month, so things should be looking pretty good by then. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. I really appreciate you coming along with me. Karting has really been a great hobby these past few months. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm actually learning a lot with it. Plus it gets me outside with the fresh air and real life people. If you like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. If you'd like to see more karting shenanigans or whatever else, please leave a comment letting me know. I'd like to do more of these once I get into racing, or maybe when I explore other tracks in the area. This past year we actually had nice warm weather pretty late into fall, but now that we're into the winter months, it's been tough to find a nice dry day to get back out there. Also, if you're into karting and have any advice or tips or tricks or questions or whatever, feel free to leave a comment. Hopefully I didn't say anything too off point or noobish. Also, please make sure you follow me on my socials. I'm mostly present on Twitch right now. I have a channel where I speedrun old school Nintendo games, and we have a lot of fun over there. So please make sure you drop a follow and come hang out. Anyways, that's going to do it for now, so take care everyone, and I will see you on the flip. Bye!